Hi, I had a vision experience this morning that I want to share. If you read my book, as many of you have, you know that I started experiencing regular visions in 2019. I've written about a lot of them in my book, but that book was published now last year. So I still have been having lots of experiences that I record in my journal, but I haven't really been sharing about them anywhere. So I believe God has been telling me for a while now that these visions are not just for me, and that by keeping them to myself, I'm hoarding them. So I did not want to share about these. I've been resistant because for two reasons. First of all, it seems kind of showy, like, hey, look at me, I have visions, and I don't want to come across that way at all. The visions experiences that I have are just God's doing and not anything because I'm holier than anyone else or special in any way. So I don't want to come across as showy like that. And second of all, because people will think I'm crazy. So, but God over the past weeks has continued to seem to be saying that He wants me to start recording these visions regularly. So, if you think I'm crazy, well, you're just going to think I'm crazy. So here, this is the very first one. So our church is participating in the 21 days of prayer and fasting. There are hundreds of churches across the United States and even around the world who are participating in this. It's been amazing. Today was day 10. And so every morning we get up and we meet at our church at 6 in the morning. And we watch a live stream from the main church, which is in Alabama. There's usually a time of praise and worship and a short message, and then everyone prays for about 20 minutes and then get back together to pray corporately with our individual church. So it's very powerful because all across the United States and around the world, Christians are gathering together and watching the same live stream, praying about the same specific things, and singing praise and worship songs, the same songs, listening to praise and worship songs together at the same time, which is incredibly powerful. So I've been experiencing a lot of visions during this 21 days. So I want to tell about the vision that I had today. And so it began as we broke up for our prayer time. And as I was praying, entered into this vision experience, and it began with in the sanctuary itself. I was able to see in the sanctuary all the people that were in there praying, and I also opened my eyes up to see just hundreds of angels in there with us. During the prayer time, there is praise and worship music playing, and so the angels were joining in, singing along with the praise and worship, and it was just quite beautiful. I was really into the vision, just enjoying it. And as I was enjoying this, my spirit in the vision started kind of lifting up out of the building and through the roof. And as in the vision, my spirit kept getting higher and higher. I could see other churches in the area, and then across the state, across the United States, and then eventually around the whole world, who were also engaged in the 21 days of prayer at the same time. And I've seen this many times. I call it Jacob's ladder. Anytime people are praying or worshiping together, angels will gather there. And a lot of times I'll see it as kind of a circle that spirals up into the air, up to heaven. It's kind of like a beautiful tornado of angels, kind of. And so they start off at the lowest levels right around whoever it is that's praying and worshiping, and then just kind of spiral upward. And they're usually rejoicing, praising Jesus together, just kind of lifting up our prayers up to heaven. And so I saw this from our own church, and then as my spirit in the vision kept getting higher and higher, I could see all these other churches around the world that were also participating, and I could see the Jacob's ladder of angels spiraling upward from each church up toward heaven. And then as my spirit kept getting out further and further out, and then eventually even into space so that I could see the entire earth, I saw what I call the mesh. And I've seen this many times in my visions, and it is a mesh of humans or of saints. So I think that this is composed of saints, people, Christians who have already passed on and their souls are in heaven. And part of their mission now is to pray for the earth together. And I know that in my vision, sometimes I am able to join in with them in my spirit. So perhaps this is also other people that God gives visions to who are still alive can also join in with this. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there are probably hundreds and thousands of others of us. So anyway, the mesh is all of these saints, the souls of all of these saints surrounding the earth. And so they all are have this posture of having their arms out and their legs kind of out, and they're holding the hands of the saints next to them, and then their feet are touching the feet of the saints next to them. And then, for example, their hands would be also touching the feet of the saints above them. So you get this mesh, this of humanity, of souls encircling the earth, and they are praying for the earth. And often in my visions, usually the glory of God, which is like this bright sun, will be up above them, and you can see the glory of God, the power of the Holy Spirit of God coming down from him through all of the different souls, the different saints that are in this mesh, and then going down into the earth from their prayers as they pray and as they worship. And sometimes I can see what is like, I call it the Holy Spirit dance. It's this choreographed dance where all of the saints will simultaneously do the same motion. So as the Holy Spirit moves them, and so sometimes they will take their hands down and then they will point it toward the earth. And I can see this golden, glorious glory of God coming down through them and then into the earth as they're praying. So this particular vision, I saw the mesh, but then I could still see all the different Jacob's ladders coming up from all the different churches around the world that were participating at the same time in this 21 days of prayer. And so you had from the earth, you had all of these Jacob's ladders of angels spiraling upward, and then the mesh around the earth, and then God's glory. And it was all connected by the glory of God. So, and by all of these angels. And then finally, the last part of this vision. So last week I had saw in a vision this particular angel who I have never seen before. So in the years that I've been having these visions, I have noticed that there are different kinds of angels. They look different from each other. And I've named them based on just my own personal names I give for them based on how they look. So there's warrior angels who are really big and have armor. There are fire angels who have fire coming out of them. I think they also sing. And so anyway, this particular angel that I saw last week looked very different. I had never seen an angel who looked exactly like this before. It was a feminine looking angel. Many of the angels that I see are very masculine. I don't think angels have gender similar to humans, but the ones that I see are generally very masculine looking. And so this one was female. Very long, beautiful hair and this beautiful, flowing, colorful robe that was just, she was hovering above the people in the sanctuary, and her robe was just flowing kind of in the air, and it had many, many beautiful colors, lots of purples. It looked very thick and velvety. So this was also different because most of the angels I have seen in visions they have no color. They're white or translucent, and so she had all of this color. So I saw her once last week, and then saw her again at the end of this vision as I'm looking at the mesh. So I'm outside, even outside in space, even beyond the earth, and I can see all of this, all the connections with the Jacob's ladders and the people praying on the earth, and then the mesh, and then the glory of God. And she was up above the earth, outside of the mesh, between the glory of God and the mesh. And it appeared, I could see her back, and it appeared as if she was directing the worship. And so what I was hearing at the time is just this worship of all the people around the world worshiping God, and then the angels all joining in worshiping. And when I hear this kind of thing in the visions, it is the most beautiful sound, much more beautiful than anything my human ears have ever heard on earth, of all of these millions of voices blended together, angelic and human voices blended together. It's many steps higher and steps lower in range than what your human ears can actually hear. And it's just this magnificent harmonies all blended together. And so this is what I was hearing, and I could see her actually directing this chorus, this beautiful choir of worship. So that was my vision for this morning. Have a blessed